And I know what other people are getting paid.
What do you think that's about?
It's, yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes. 500,000. Well, they didn't want to give me that. I couldn't go. I'm not doing this move.
Hold up, run that back. Is that really Taraji P. Henson? Because this new picture had the whole timeline doing a double take, zooming in, comparing old photos to new ones, and asking one question in the comments over and over: what changed?
You're not drinking, or decision to not drink anymore? How did that?
I do have my wine brand,
Okay.
and I love my 7 daughters, but I do take breaks. For 5 months I had stopped drinking because I felt like I needed clarity. I needed to get rid of some negative energy that was in my life that I couldn't see. Because, and not to say that I have a drinking problem or anything like that. I just think like you fast sometimes because you need to reset your system.
Now, some of this you can chalk up to normal stuff. New hairstyle, new stylist, better lighting, whatever. Taraji's been open for years about stepping back from drinking. And on paper, that tracks with somebody who's just taking care of herself. But here's where the internet starts connecting dots that may or may not actually connect. Because right around the same window, there's chatter tying her look back to the fallout from that whole color purple pay conversation. Some online floating the idea that Hollywood's quietly been treating her like a risk ever since, using her past relationship with drinking as the excuse. Now, nobody with actual receipts has confirmed any of that. It's speculation. But it raises a real question: is this just a woman taking care of herself, or is there more going on underneath?
So 2018 was when I finally got a real quote. And that is the last time that I haven't gotten a raise since then. And each and every project that I had to fight for that.
You still have to fight.
I have to fight for that. Yeah.
What did that do to you?
That's why I'm not excited anymore.
It takes
It takes
fun out of
all
it?
of that away. And I know what other people are getting paid.
What do you think that's about?
It's about me being a woman and a black woman. I still don't think that this town respects what black women bring to.
Now mind you, this isn't some newcomer catching bad breaks. This is a woman with an Oscar nomination on her resume for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And she made history as the first African-American actress to win the Critics' Choice Award for Best Actress in a Drama for playing Cookie Lyon on Empire. By the time that show wrapped, Taraji figured she'd put in the work, proved herself, and Hollywood would finally pay her what she was worth. Instead, doors kept closing the same way they always had. And this wasn't new for her. Go back to 2001 Baby Boy. That was supposed to be her breakout. Her co-star Tyrese Gibson walked out of that movie and straight into the Fast and Furious franchise. Taraji? She was still out here knocking on doors, hoping somebody would answer. Same story in 2005 with Hustle and Flow. Same story again in 2008 with Benjamin Button, the role that finally got her that Oscar nod. And even that came with a gut punch nobody talks about enough. Taraji has said she asked the studio for $500,000 for that role. They came back with $100,000. She managed to negotiate it up to $150,000. But by the time taxes came off the top and she paid her team, she walked away with about $40,000. Meanwhile, that movie made $335 million at the box office. Let that sit for a second. A $335 million movie, and the third billed actress in it is bringing home less than a lot of people make in a year working a regular job.
Or I could not. You know, when Benjamin Button didn't want to pay me, I was just asking $500,000. When they didn't want to give me that, I couldn't go. I'm not doing this movie.
Right.
And I wasn't thinking about critical acclaim, because in my mind it was Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett that were the shoe-ins. I was just happy to be in their company. You know what I mean? And I had to swallow my pride, and I had to, you know, just give the best performance that I could, because, you know, that's what I always try to do. And
after swallowing that one, Taraji kept it moving with the same professionalism she'd built her whole career on. But once Empire blew up and Cookie Lyon became a cultural moment, she realized the payoff still wasn't matching the impact. No major endorsement deals, no campaigns lining up to cash in on how big that character got, and reportedly, she ended up firing her entire team over how her career was being handled. There was even talk of a Cookie Lyon spin-off in the works, something Taraji was open to doing if it was handled right. According to reports, that fell apart too. After that, something shifted. Taraji stopped playing the role of the grateful actress who just takes what she's given, and once she started speaking up for herself and for the women coming up behind her, people close to her say the pressure only got heavier. There's been talk from those in her circle that years of fighting for basic respect pushed her toward weed and alcohol just to cope. That's not something she's confirmed herself, so take it as reported, not gospel. But whatever was building up came to a head in December 2023, during her press run for The Color Purple, when Taraji sat down with Gayle King and stopped holding back.
And I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. I'll have to. The math ain't grown. Oh, that was like some one-time thing. So you fall back to the bottom, and you gotta negotiate and fight tooth and nail to get what you made the last time. When where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary, and almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? So why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here?
That interview didn't just go viral. It cracked open a bigger conversation. Actresses like Gabrielle Union, Keke Palmer, and Octavia Spencer all showed up in her corner, making it clear this wasn't just a Taraji problem, it was an industry problem. But online, people did what the internet does. They went looking for a villain. A rumor started spreading that Oprah Winfrey, who executive produced Color Purple, had gone cold on Taraji over the comments. Here's the thing, though that one didn't hold up. Both women came out afterward and shut it down publicly. Oprah said there was no validity to any beef talk and called herself one of Taraji's biggest supporters. Taraji backed that up too. So no real fallout there. At least none either of them has confirmed. What critics say did follow her, though, is a quieter narrative that she'd become difficult, a liability, someone productions might think twice about hiring, and conveniently, some of that gets pinned on her past struggles with drinking.
You're not drinking, a decision to not drink anymore? How did that?
I do have my wine brand, and I love my 7 daughters, but I do take breaks.
But when the industry has set a narrative...
Now, stack that on top of something else Hollywood does to black actresses. Once they hit a certain age, the roles just start disappearing. Taraji is 55. And be honest, when's the last time this industry gave a black woman that age anything outside of the church auntie, the grieving widow, or somebody's wise old mother? So with fewer roles coming in and a difficult label hanging over her name, it's easy to see why people online think a new look might be Taraji's way of trying to stay in the conversation. But according to people who know the business, a makeover isn't going to fix what's actually broken. This was never really about how she looks. It's about an Oscar-nominated Golden Globe-winning actress who had to fight for basic things on set: food, a trailer, fair pay, and then got treated like the problem for saying so out loud. And judging by the comments, a lot of people aren't buying the difficult label either. Fans have been flooding her posts saying things like, as a black woman who's dealt with the same thing at work, they feel her, doors closing no matter how hard you go. Other comments point out how British actors with barely any credits get handed opportunities and bigger checks that black American actresses can't get near. One fan put it simply, nobody brings the depth and the passion to a role like Taraji does, and she still isn't getting paid like it. You can see the exhaustion in her face in every one of these interviews. And honestly, most of the internet seems less confused about her looks and more upset about how she's been treated to get here. So, here's the real question for the comments. Did Taraji make a mistake putting her pay struggles out there in public? Or was that exactly the kind of pressure this industry needed to hear? Let me know what you think down below. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll catch you in the next one.